Hey everyone, welcome back to What's Happening in Real Estate this week. I've got Conrad Zurini here, owner, broker of REMAX Escarpment and REMAX Niagara, and Brian Hogben, Mission 35, mortgages better than the banks. Guys, we're going to talk about, if you're a seller, what's your best move in this tricky real estate market? And also, average rents fall annually for 8th straight month. To $2,129 in the report. So what do you guys want to get at? You want to get at both the tricky market or you want to get on to the rents?
Yeah, tricky market's good. Yeah, I think so. You know what's interesting? Yeah, do you want to go for it, Brian, from your perspective? What are your thoughts? Go ahead.
Oh, I think the market's tricky for sure. I think the market's very, very competitive. It is a renewer's market right now. I'll say that just on the mortgage financing side. Banks, because they're down in business, are more competitive than ever. Right. So when you're renewing your mortgage right now, make sure you are doing your shopping, right? Because we've got sharp rates, the bank's got sharp rates. And if you're just signing a renewal form, you're doing yourself a huge injustice, right? Because you're getting massive discounts right now. So those people, you got to make sure you're looking at that right now. So
just tell the banks that you're shopping around. They'll probably right away give you the lowest rate. They don't want to lose the business, right?
Yeah,
especially if you're good. Yeah. So just tell them you're ready. You're shopping around, and they'll sharpen their pencil. That's for sure. What else? Anything else on that end of the?
The only other thing, just for people to be aware, first-time buyers. We just had a file where a gentleman had crypto as a down payment. 25-year-old and 27-year-old guy, really, really young, great job. But it turns out with the banks right now, they will not accept, without a massive amount of due diligence, crypto as a down payment, right? So
are you kidding?
No, because
is this one of the major 5 banks, or this is an American bank?
All major 5 Canadian banks, right? So
we'll take crypto.
They hate it, absolutely despise it, and
hate it.
And the reason they say is because it is the gateway for the dark web. So their rationale is, hey, Brian, if you've got $20,000 in a crypto wallet, are you drug trafficking? Are you a sex trafficker? Are you doing all these? All these transactions are done on the dark web. So and it's unfortunate because they're painting everybody with the same brush. And it's like, listen, some guy's got 30 grand in crypto. He's not breaking the law. He's just a savvy guy, made some money in crypto, and now he wants to put in a down payment. But make sure you have a plan in place. If you have a down payment, make sure you're asking your clients too, like, is any of your down payment in crypto? Because it can be a major problem if you do not have the time to solve it. Can be a major issue.
Has anybody, hey Conrad, like being one of the brokers in the world, any deposits, crypto, anything like that?
None, not at all, zero.
I think what's that, 10, 20 years down the road, we'll probably see something like that, possibly.
It could be sooner. Who knows? When it gets regulated, right? Who knows, right?
Yeah. So, guys, we're in a very
go back. I just want to go about the
top
market. I think, no, because I think there's two winners out there in the market. That's going to be interesting. We're seeing that offer, that listing price below, $200,000-$300,000 below list, or $150,000. Doing very, very well, but in the right price category. And the other thing is, buyers are looking for these homes that have been in the market a long time. They are. And so, that cancel and relist is not a good strategy.
No,
people
not
want
anymore.
to know it's a long time. As a matter of fact, they're asking their buyer reps, how long has this been for sale? Let's, we've got an opportunity to do something in some really deep negotiation. So, it's kind of shifted. It's either price it below the market, maybe 100 grand below, or keep it on the market a long time. Do not, I repeat, and do the reductions and price adjustments, but do not cancel and relist. It's a kiss of death. People want to know that it's been there a long time, and they can come in there and buy and negotiate.
You know what? I've been telling my team this. I said, guys, that doesn't work anymore. Cancel and relist. Just do the amendment, change the price, or whatever you need to change. Those days are gone. Those days are gone. And see, it's funny that how you, are in the same path with me on that one.
Yeah.
And
we're seeing it in all markets. I think, and actually people are looking at those longer term, it's been for sale for a long time, and having those dialogues with the listing agent. So and you got to think, people are watching. They're watching and they're watching and watching. And if your house fits the bill, And, it gets to that point, they're going to come in and it's more attractive the longer it's been on the market in a lot of cases.
So question, when there's a relist and cancel and relist.
Cancel relist, yeah.
Cancel and relist, and the house sells within 30 days. That goes on the average of 30 days?
Yes, it does, yeah.
It does. So
yeah, our board has cumulative. Our board has cumulative days on market, but other, like, any prop tech board does not have cumulative, right? So yeah.
Right. So you know what? And the funny thing is, everybody goes by days on market. So the averages we're getting out. So those aren't really good numbers to follow, really, because like it says 29 days average on the market, but really it's probably 40, 50 days or 40 days or more because of all these cancel and relists. And and it's really construing the whole system. It's like when I go buy new listings in our office, I go by new listings. I don't go by cancel relist new.
Smart.
I don't want the relists. I need to know what our numbers are every month of what we actually listed and stuff like that. And I go by signed agreements, like signed acceptance, not firm deals. So it just gives me an idea what the numbers are every month, right? Because like tons of June closings. It's always going to be that way, but every year is different. But anyway, now we are in a tricky market. A tricky market. There was an article in the paper. It says ensuring, and the guy says ensuring your property is the three-piece: staged well, has good photos, and is the listing while also promoting a good the home through both realty services, like multiple listing services, and social media and any other things. But the biggest thing here is that the listing, the right price is important.
Yeah.
And this guy says within 10,000. I think he's a little off on that. 10,000. But I mean, if your house value is within 10,000, you're going to do well on it. You'll sell fast. You probably sell within 14 days. People don't get that. I've been chasing this market with this one client of mine, and he wanted to list at 1.8. I told him 1.5 from the beginning. And guess what? If he listed at 1.5 from the beginning, he'd be sold and closed today.
Yeah.
He'd be sold and closed. Yeah. Now he's not going to see 1.5 because it's been, who knows, 6 months on the market.
Wow.
And I like people out there that are listening, believe me, get a reputable realtor like ourselves or any team or anybody that you feel comfortable with, and get the right price. And everybody's price is never the right price. Like the homeowner's price, the seller's price, they always think their house is worth more. They forget time flies. Everybody thinks 2021 was just last year. It isn't. That was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But there's but definitely you got to be savvy.
I'm with you. You got to price with precision, and I think you got to look at the whole market, and I think you got to start to rank your listing compared to others. You know what I mean? So where is the cluster of buyers right now? What price point? You know, the other day somebody asked me, and it was a semi in Peel, and they were $1,350,000. Well, there hadn't been a semi in Peel sold for $1,350,000. You had to go back to 2021. All of them were in the 1.1 to 1.150. So you got to, and there was 98 that sold this year in that price point. So at the end of the day, you got to fish where the fish are, right? So you got to look, those numbers mean a lot. There's activity. You know, don't say, woe is me, it's the market. There was 98 semis sold in Q1 and Q2 in just about $100,000 less. And that's where the activity is. So you got to rank the listing. You got to place it where it's happening. If there's a cluster here that aren't selling, well, then stay out of that price point. And the other thing is, people don't look at realtor.ca and the increments on realtor.ca, where it goes 50,000 increments or 100,000 increments. You're losing. So when people are like 669, they're going to lose people because it's 650. And people like to stay between 6 and 650. For that 19,000 of BS, who even cares? You're losing like 50, 60, 80% of the buyers. So you got to price with precision, and you got to place your property within where the ranges are selling right now. And that's the precision pricing.
That's it. And then you know what? You guys had CMHC speak on your behalf. They also spoke with us too. Anthony Passaleri, I think.
Yes, that's right. He's a great guy. I love Anthony.
Yeah, awesome. That was an awesome presentation that he had. And you know what? It's funny how you learn. I actually I sent that to one of my clients that has been chasing the market, and I'm hoping that he realizes what's happened. And you know what? The funny thing is, he even said, he goes, "Why didn't you push me harder?" To the price. I'm like, you can't win. You can't win. No matter. He goes, I said to him, I go, really? I go, you are a strong A personality. I did tell you. He goes, you should have pushed me harder. You know what? I don't know what to say. So you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. So you can't win. No matter what. That's it.
Or you gotta have a plan. You gotta have a plan in place. You know what? Let's have a 3-week 30-day plan in place. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And that's the thing. And get them to sign it. Get the client to sign the plan. Look, you guys agree with this? If we don't see something in 30 days, gotta
change it.
You gotta make sure you always look at that mortgage as well too, right? Because if they have debt that's over the mortgage, if there's people that are over leveraged right now for the sale price, you gotta make sure you have a plan for that as well too. Make sure you're checking that.
I'm finding a lot of people are in deep water right now. And they need to sell, but they need the number, and they're hoping they get this number to help pay for their loan on their car, help pay for this, and they're just not getting it. And I feel bad, but I love that wording, priced with precision, Conrad. I'm gonna use that.
The other thing, pricing.
Precision pricing. The other thing is rents. I mean, I've got a unit in Grimsby right now. $2,250. It's a side-by-side duplex. They pay their own heat and hydro and all that kind of stuff. We're struggling, and that's a good rent. That's good, but people are not moving. The people aren't moving up to the bigger rental properties. They're just staying where they are, even if they're kind of tight in their apartments or whatever they're living in. I'm finding people are hanging on to what they're renting right now.
You know what? I've seen the single family home and the unicorn, similar like how you talk about in the property market. Like we had a 2-story unique unit go off the shelf really quick, and a single family home go very quick. And you know what we've seen as well too? A lot of divorce where people want to pay 12 months up front as well too. I've seen that in 2 scenarios now, 12 months up front. And I'll caution people on accepting that, because at first you're like, oh yeah, I'll take all the money up front as a landlord. But what you get on the back end is really bad payment shock. So if someone's spending 25 or $3,000 a month, and then all of a sudden they're used to not paying anything for 12 months.
Yeah. So it's going to be hard collecting the rent on the 13th month.
And then you're tied up in a rental tribunal for 3, 6, 9 months down the road. Yeah. So what we did was, on one of them, we ended up saying, hey, listen, we're going to make your rent $1,500 a month and make your prepayment last 18 months. So now we subsidize the rent. So at least you're used to a little bit of a rental payment.
Right.
People do not budget for what they do not have to spend. And when you don't have that money, it's gone.
We had this one guy. He says, I want 6 months rent up front. And we said to him, I said, that's not a good idea. I go, you just condition this guy to not pay anything for 6 months. And then all of a sudden, bang, he's going to have to start paying rent on the 7th month. He's going to be having a hard time with that. And because he's used to spending that money on his lifestyle. He's going to go out and buy a big F-150 truck that's got all the bells and whistles. That's going to cost him $150,000. And that's a $2,000 a month payment for him. And then now good luck trying to get him to pay for rent,
But rents are coming back though. They're coming back, because Q1, it was $1,720 for a 1-bedroom, and now it's we're $1,824. Oh, wow. So it dipped. Yeah, it did a dip. You know what I mean? Q1, it held for a while, but now in April, as a matter of fact, April was the first increase in Hamilton in a long, long time, and it came down slightly in May. Okay. The other thing is the outskirts, and I can't speak fully to Grimsby, but I will say the outskirts are doing okay, like the outside of Hamilton, because Burlington is number 10th most unaffordable in rents, 10th most expensive.
Wow.
St. Catharines is somewhere like, I think it's St. Catharines is like 40th or something, like 42nd. St. Kitts, 42nd out of 50 places in Canada, right? You know what I mean? So good value there, some good value there. But Burlington, 2-bedroom now is right up there, 2585 for a 2-bedroom. 1 bedroom's almost 2,200.
Wow.
So it's from 18 and change to 2,200. Just think with that bridge, eh? Like it's a $400 a month
That's a
difference.
Lot.
It's huge, but I was seeing, because we have a rental project of our own. We had a really tough time there, I would say 2-3 months ago, but it's picked up a lot now. It's really, people are now shopping, and you know, rents are stabilizing and inching their way up. So
especially you have a new building too. People like the shiny and new, and they like to move in. It's all good.
But it's competitive. It's competitive, but it's happening.
It's, you know what it is now, like with the government, nobody was building apartment buildings, and all of a sudden they give all these incentives because there's a shortage. So now they're building. Now there's an overabundance. Like the government, like they always mess things up. They always they shut it down, they open it up, and it's just one big mess.
It's a big lag.
And that's with everything. It's like with everything.
Yeah.
It's with everything. But
I think with that,
you're gonna find.
I was going to say, on the small landlords, making sure that people are focusing on retention. Like if you got the onesie, twosie, threesie, you know what I mean? And if they're reasonably good rents, do what they need to keep them. Do you know what I mean? Don't be a stingy landlord. You know, fix the door, fix the light, fix the AC. Yeah. Like really
it's competitive.
To retention mode would be my advice on that.
No, you know what? We do that with the property management. We send them in. We get an email from them, and then we acknowledge that we got the email, and within, depending how serious it is, within 24 to 48 hours, we're there fixing what needs to be fixed. And they appreciate that. Yeah. And that makes a big difference, you know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're right. The retention is big, because if it's nothing but hassles with the landlord's giving a lot of hard times to the tenant, all that kind of stuff. I mean, they've got a reason at the landlord tenant board to.
Well, or even a good tenant could be like, you know what, I could go look at other inventory now that's maybe $100 cheaper a month and better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you've got people that were put in within the past 2-3 years that might be a little bit higher. So you want to keep them happy.
That's it. Awesome.
And we're seeing referrals with tenants. So if you have a multiplex and it's a great operated building, they'll bring their friends in. And if they're great tenants, their friends are great. So we're seeing a lot of that referral business, like from the actual building itself. Nice. We're getting people bringing their friends. So you want to be a great landlord, and you want to stay on top of things, and that'll only improve your brand as a landlord.
You're going to turn your place into Melrose Place, Conrad. It's going to be Melrose Place. Everybody, it's going to know everybody.
That's it. Hey, Conrad, do you find like people that have cars, is it 50-50 have vehicles or
I would say it's probably 70-30. And we're very walkable. Now with the GO Station, they're going to be opening up Centennial shortly.
But
it's probably 70-30. Yeah, you're even old, like this 85-year-old couple, they had one car. Yeah. They were all about the parking spots. So it's interesting.
Right. Gotcha. And also with the, if the LRT comes in right there.
Yeah, that's right. Well, right at our doorstep, right?
Yeah.
Well, the B line gets you down to McMaster really quickly too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, guys, listen, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. And if you guys are listening, you can listen to more, go to YouTube, and you can look at shorts on Instagram and TikTok. Anyway, guys, have a great day. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
See you guys.